I compared a normal web scraper versus an AI web scraper in this project, which only has around 50 lines of code, surprisingly. So what I did here was essentially imported all of the Selenium stuff so I can actually do the web scraping. And so this is a list of the companies I want to web scrape. And the Chrome WebDriver, the WebDriver that I'm using is, of course, Chrome. And so how I'm going to do this is that I'm just going to go through all the companies in the list. I'm going to go to Google, search the name up. As you can see with the glyph, I'm just going to search the company name, hackathon, month 2024. And essentially what this will do is it will give me the hackathon in that month. So for month 2024, I put this as April, so it's always going to be 1 month ahead, so I can actually sign up for it. Now, other than this, I essentially just did the search query and we just enter it. And then, of course, we need to find a viable link. And so in the link, it has to have the name hackathon in it. And we will actually only get the links with the name hackathon in it. If not, we can get event, we can get summit, we can get whatever we want, essentially, which is pretty cool. And we can just scrape for very sick events. Next, we actually just add it to the Trevor URL, and otherwise, it's probably going to time out. And if that does happen, we'll just say element not found. So without further ado, let's actually test out the normal web scraper and then compare it to something like SERP API. Now, as you can see, there is one, but it is actually not in April. Sadly, it didn't get the memo, I guess. So, as you can see, it is not too accurate yet, but there is the coherent Waterloo challenges here. It's very strange, but we did find one hackathon, which is pretty good. So I will take that. But as you can see, there's of course the Raise Summit, which is not really a hackathon. This is actually is a hackathon, which means that our code did work for one of them. And hopefully it does actually find one here. Hackathon, Gen AI, Microsoft, agriculture, which is pretty cool. So hopefully we see that link pop up and hopefully we can actually just take a look at it. But look, it's another one. It's April 25th to April 28th too, which is amazing. Of course, there is another one, a Girl Hackathon 2024, which is amazing. I mean, it just found so many actual accurate ones. This one, there shouldn't be one. It's just Tesla. And as you can see here, it ran everything. And if we just find one of these, as you can see, this one I think didn't work. This is just the biggest hackathon so far. So this is just the biggest AI hackathon so far. And as you can see, they are not really possible to join. One was, of course, from October to December 2023, which doesn't work. So let's actually try the Girl Hackathon, which of course I cannot attend, but seems very interesting. And as you can see, you can actually join. And the registration actually closes on April 5th. So without this web scraper, I would not have been able to join this if I was a girl. Now let's test out one last one. See the search query here. A Tesla hackathon. Pretty sure this isn't a pretty good example, but this one is a better example. So as you can see, and you add hackathon for social good. And this is pretty interesting as it has a bunch of scholarships. Looks very, very interesting indeed. As you can see, partnerships, it even has past hackathons, which means it's pretty legit. So now let's actually test out where is it? Let's actually test out a different hackathon or the OpenAI Scrape. So essentially what this does is it uses the SERP API key, which essentially scans through Google. So it's also kind of a web scraper, but it uses AI to actually find some. So here I say, please provide me with a list of 10 upcoming hackathons. Provide me the day in brackets. They should be high quality and free to attend. They should be hosted by a good and reputable company and have a good track record of hosting hackathons. We can actually just remove this. Hosted by a reputable company. Please provide me a list of 10 and upcoming hackathons, of course, in Toronto. And if we just run this, hopefully we get no errors here. Of course, it's a one. We do have to add our OpenAI key. So let me do that real quick. All right. Now that I'm back from actually importing and exporting my API key. So what essentially I do is just export OpenAI API key. If you're confused on how I did that, that's how you usually get that. And essentially now we can just run it and we just use the OpenAI key, and of course SERP API, and it actually enters. And essentially this is actually just an agent. So this is super useful in terms of scanning the website, action input, observation, found ETH woman, which is very cool because that's actually a pretty reputable hackathon. Sadly, I am not a woman once again, but it's actually finished the chain. Wow. It has, of course, we actually have to print it surprisingly. So let's actually just do that again because of course we didn't actually print the response. As you can see, this is an observation. We can actually just check all of the very cool observations that it has. Georgetown University, top 12 hackathons. Very, very cool. Now this is its thought. Oh, here it is, the final answer. I think it actually did show up last time, but I just didn't see it probably. Yeah, I just didn't see it actually. But this is, of course, a lot better of an answer. The top 10 are going to be University of Toronto's annual hackathon, August 24th, Hack the 6th, July, QHack in-person event in October, WAC Sprint, Best Startup Experience, which is a strange one to have for an hackathon, ETH Toronto, which I'm actually going to, ETH Woman, Definity Global, Hack the 6th once again, and ETH Toronto once again. So clearly you can see there are some errors in both, but of course both actually work pretty well in terms of getting some that work. And of course, some that work are better than none that work, and finding some that I can go to is pretty cool. Overall, that was the comparison between both. Both are really cool, and you should definitely check out Selenium and of course SERP API. Anyways, that was the whole video, and I hope you enjoyed it.